While King Louis XIV was strengthening France's position in North America, a far more profitable segment of the French colonial empire was already taking shape thousands of miles away. In the warm waters of the Caribbean, France was establishing a colonial system so profitable that a single island would eventually generate more revenue than all 13 British American colonies combined. The Caribbean expansion began in 1635, when France claimed Guadeloupe and Martinique, establishing its presence in islands already known for their agricultural potential. Unlike the fur-focused economy of New France, these tropical possessions were developed specifically for plantation agriculture, primarily sugar. The initial settlements were organized by the Company of the American Islands, which received a royal charter to develop French interests in the region. By 1659, France had seized part of Saint-Domingue, modern Haiti, from Spain, beginning what would become the crown jewel of its colonial possessions. Within decades, this colony transformed into an agricultural powerhouse through the brutal exploitation of enslaved African labor. The plantation system required massive numbers of workers, leading France to become deeply involved in the transatlantic slave trade. French ships transported millions of enslaved Africans across the Atlantic under horrific conditions to work on these plantations. The economic results were staggering. By the 18th century, Saint-Domingue alone produced approximately 40% of all the sugar and 60% of all the coffee consumed in Europe. This single colony became the most profitable European possession in the Americas, outproducing entire mainland empires. The wealth generated from these Caribbean possessions flowed back to France, enriching merchant families in port cities like Nantes, Bordeaux, and Marseille. To regulate the increasingly complex system of slavery, Louis XIV issued the Code Noir in 1685. This legal framework defined the conditions of slavery in the French colonial empire, controlling every aspect of enslaved people's lives, while also, paradoxically, providing certain protections. The code required slave owners to provide food and clothing, prohibited certain forms of punishment, and even allowed slaves to report abuses to royal authorities. However, these protections existed alongside brutal provisions that defined enslaved people as property and prescribed harsh punishments, including execution for various offenses. France's imperial vision extended beyond the Caribbean. In the Indian Ocean, France established a presence on Isle Bourbon, now Réunion, in 1665, followed by settlements on Isle de France, now Mauritius. These islands served as strategic bases for French ships traveling to and from India, while also developing their own plantation economies, producing spices, coffee, and sugar. The East India Company, founded by Colbert in 1664, coordinated these operations from its headquarters in Lorient, France. The growing French Empire inevitably led to conflicts with other European powers. The prosperous sugar islands became frequent targets during wars, with islands changing hands multiple times between France, Britain, and the Netherlands. Naval power became increasingly crucial for defending these scattered possessions, leading France to invest heavily in its fleet. The Caribbean colonies also fostered a thriving community of pirates and privateers. The island of Tortuga, off the coast of Saint-Domingue, became a notorious base for buccaneers who attacked Spanish shipping. Many operated with tacit French approval through letters of marque, which allowed them to raid enemy ships while providing a percentage of their spoils to the French crown, a form of unofficial warfare that strengthened France's position without requiring direct military involvement.